Hi guys, Mark from Dynex Hobby again. Today I'm going to introduce the Impulse 2 dynamic balance unit. The balancer is actually a plug and play system, very simple and easy to use, and I'll show you how to set it up and get it going. Alrighty, so when you receive the Impulse, you'll get the standard USB cable, an accelerometer, Impulse itself, and there are optional extras such as the laser module or the infrared sensor. So we'll go ahead and assemble the device. First thing to do is to attach the USB cable to the USB port on Impulse, so that it's a simple plug-in procedure. And you want to connect the free end to a spare USB port on your laptop or PC. So plug that in. The very first time you plug that in, Windows will recognize the Impulse and actually go ahead and automatically install the drivers internally. That won't take too long. It might take a minute or so to get that up and running. To know that your Impulse is working normally, you'll see a very bright green LED light appear. So once that is all connected and set up in Windows, next thing would be to connect the sensors. So the standard accelerometer that comes with the kit is this accelerometer here, and the way it's connected is that the black wire faces the top label on the Impulse. So if I was to connect this to the Impulse to the accelerometer port number 1, I would plug that in like so that the black wire faces the top label. Connecting the laser module is the same kind of procedure. Again, the black wire faces the top part of the Impulse label. So I'll connect that into the IR sensor port. Now, as soon as you plug in the laser sensor module, you'll see the laser module itself and an LED, a red LED showing. When I actually move my hand in front of the laser module, another red LED will illuminate, indicating a signal being detected. Now, the very first thing to do to set up Impulse in Windows is to set up the sound settings. So in the sound settings Windows environment, click on the sound control panel and then go to recording, and you'll see the Impulse show up as a USB audio device. So you want to click on that and then properties. So drag that over. And so we want to click on to levels. So you can actually set the sensitivity of Impulse by setting the microphone input level. Generally, I leave it at 50% or thereabouts, but you can actually increase the level up to 100% if you want high sensitivity. But just to keep in mind that if you do go to a higher sensitivity, you might introduce a lot more noise in your measurement. So once that is set, click on Advanced, and you need to set the channels that you're actually going to be recording. Now, this is actually very important. Generally, when you open this for the first time, you may see this set as a one-channel system. Now, if you were to set it as one channel, the Impulse won't work correctly. In other words, you'll see a vibration signal on channel 1, but you won't see the pulse signal for channel 2. And that, I get a lot of questions from people out in the community about that, and just keep in mind that you really do need to set this as a 2-channel system. So I'll click on that tab and click on 2-channel at 16-bit at 44/100 Hertz recording rate. Once that is set, click on OK and OK to that, and then you can close the settings window. So from here, I can click on the Dynex Hobby application and click I agree to the warning, and you'll see the main menu. So on the main menu, we want to click on the advanced vibration meter, and it's probably the easiest way to test the system when you receive it. Now, just a note that the Impulse is actually tested twice once during production and another time just before shipping. So we do test the system to ensure that it's working correctly before it's sent to you. So when you receive it, a simple way to check it is to look at the advanced vibration meter. For this particular test, I'm just going to reduce the sample rate just so it's easy to see the full wave. So reduce that, and then I'm going to click on devices, click on the microphone USB audio system, and then click OK. Once I've done that, I'm going to click on Start. So that is set up, ready to go. So the first thing to do is you can actually grab the accelerometer and give the accelerometer a bit of a wiggle side to side, and when you do that, you will see a very rough sine wave appear. And if you see that, then you know that the accelerometer sensor is working fine. The second thing to do is to grab the laser sensor, place it on a table, and then you can wave your finger in front of the sensor. So when I do that, you will see a pulse appear for channel 2, like so. So if you see those two signals appear on the screen, then you know everything is working normally. Alrighty, so I want to actually discuss how to set up the laser module or infrared sensor. I had a lot of questions about how to set this up correctly, and and some of the pitfalls associated with having a correct configuration. So I have my two-plane rotor system set up on the bench, and I have my laser module pointing towards plane 1. Now on plane 1, I've actually got a couple of different variations of markings on here. So I've actually got a dark face with a white line marked on it, and I've also got a black marker which is placed onto the shaft. And I've tried different tests in different locations to see whether which gives me the best results. So I'll go through that and actually demonstrate some of the pitfalls associated with setting this up. So what I'll do is I'll run up the rotor to speed. So it's not a very high speed. All right, so at the moment I have the laser sensor set up on plane 1, pointing towards the white marker on the dark face there. So it's ramping up the speed, and you can see that the RPM seems to be fluctuating a little bit, and it's to do with the fact that the pulse seems to be a bit seems to oscillate a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate the laser module a bit around a bit more. Okay, until I hit a sweet spot. Now when I rotate it, you'll see that the RPM stabilizes, and the speed seems to be in line with more what I was expecting, around about 80 Hertz. Now I can check that on the frequency meter. If I've moved the mark over here, over to the, actually I might zoom up on the frequency curve to that, click on that, press play, and I might press pause for that just to demonstrate. If I click on this, you'll see that the biggest peak, which is pretty much where the imbalance is at 80 Hertz. And that matches well with the RPM. So you know that that location is working really well for the laser module. So hopefully that explains the setup. I'm just going to ramp that down now. I hope that explains the setup for the laser module, and go from there. Alright guys, just one final note for our users in the European region, or any region that uses, for example, a comma as a number separator. So generally the way the Impulse or the software works is it actually requires a decimal separator for the number format. So for example, in the US, they might have a 1.474, for example, but in some parts of Europe, that might be a 1,474. The comma can cause a bit of a problem when it goes to the analysis. It may not see it as a decimal, it might see it as a full number. Say, for example, that might read the number as 1,474. So to ensure that Impulse works correctly, we need to have the number format to be 1.474. So to set that correctly in Windows, you'll need to go to the regional settings. So in the clock and region tab in Windows 10, you can click on change date time, number format, then click on additional settings, and you should see this panel. Generally, if it's set to US, the decimal symbol will appear there in the correct sort of format. Then click apply. OK, and you should be ready to go. So just keep a note that if you're trying to perform a balance and your Windows is actually using a comma as a decimal separator, it may not work correctly. So if you reset the regional settings, it should be fine. So there you have it, guys. It's a simple setup procedure for the Impulse system. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below and I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.